to understand your problem. It is there that students do not like that thing at all because students don't have time. Charlie, your boss is calling you, your wife is also calling you, your girlfriend is calling you, your children have taken a knife and they are chasing themselves in the house. The time is already 10 o'clock. The baby is crying. It's now 12 o'clock. You sleep, you wake up, it's 6 o'clock. You have to bath the children, take them to school. You are at work, your uncle will call you, I need money. Your mother will call you, I need money. Like when you were a child, they were giving you 1,000 Ghana. But when they call you, they also want 1,000 Ghana. So life hits you and then you realize that, oh, the question, let me just solve it. But you see, one thing which I always say is the reason we come to school is not for the certificate. Everybody is in our side of the world, everybody wants the certificate so much that they forget that once you have the certificate, it means something. It means I can do it. Now, I may not be able to do it to the best person in the world, but I can do it. So if you can do it, and the certificate is showing you can do it, you must be able to break the problem down very well. It is not every question that would demand you to have a database. It is not every question that will have an interface. It is not every question that will have to give an answer. It is not every question that will have to take input from the person. Every question is unique, so you must understand what is required of that question.
Yes, I really appreciate this explanation. I really appreciate.
Anything else someone doesn't understand? Please, if you don't understand something, tell me now. Now, in our lessons, the first 2 weeks of our lessons were supposed to be for us to learn HTML, learn CSS. But the honest truth is, the first 2 weeks, we didn't meet. Or some of you didn't show up, so we couldn't meet. So we didn't have our lessons on HTML and CSS. So as you can see, we dive directly into the PHP. But that has caused a problem for us because everything we design, we don't have any color in it. It doesn't look appealing. Now, do not be deceived. In this world, the way something looks like is important. It may sound crash, it may sound, a bit weird, or it may not sound right, or whatever, but yes, it's the truth. Whenever you design something for someone, the look of it matters. How the words are styled, if they twirl or if they don't twirl, how they look conveys a particular message to somebody. How they look. So today we are going to discuss how they look, how we can add a bit of color to what we do. Add a bit of color to what we do. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So over here, I have typed login interface bootstrap. Login interface bootstrap. In the searches that pop up, I am going to open some of them. Now, Bootstrap is a HTML framework. It provides you with a framework that allows you to develop quick application interfaces for your applications. Over here, we have some examples of interfaces that were developed. And then when I open the show code section, I can see the code that was used to write these applications. In these ones too, I can see the code that was used to build these interfaces. When I click here too, I can see the codes that were used to develop these interfaces. Now over here, I'm looking for an interface which speaks to me, which goes in line with what I want to do. I think this interface is cool enough. So I'll click here, the demo and code. And over here, I can see a demo of it. Very, very nice interface. I can see some more even here, so I can right click on these ones too. But I'll download this. They want to send me an email. No problem. I can download now, but they want an email from me. It's not a big deal. I can send them my email. So they can send me the email. But I have downloaded this file. I'm going to cut this file from here or copy this file from here. I'm going to go to my XAMPP and I'm going to open a new folder that I'm going to call MSC. I already have an MSC folder. So let me rename this one to MSC2. And inside MSC2, I'm going to put that folder there. So when I open my folder, I'll see another folder called MSC2. When I open it, I have these files there. So I'm going to cut them and I'm going to paste them over here. That's it. So I don't need this folder anymore. And I don't need this also anymore. So when I click on this index page, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting login for a background, that's a person over here, a sign up form for people to sign up. Nothing biggie that. I will close this. When I click here, I get a thank you message for using the template. And that's nice, but I don't need this. Over here, I have all the images that I used in developing the application. Over here, I have some fonts. Over here, I have the CSS for the application. Over here, I have some SCSS for the application. And over here, I have my JavaScript files. I have the main JS files, the Bootstrap main file, and then the JavaScript file. So that's nice. I want to open this in my VS Code. So I'll right click and click on terminal. Then in terminal, I will just click code dot. And then this window pops up for me, showing me all the files that were there, and then the index file. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what do I have here? I can see I have my CSS files, which is kept in CSS style sheet here. So these are all the styles, everything I see there, these are all the styles that govern it. I have this file here, which takes font awesome files, fonts. I have this file here, which goes for fonts from online. At the bottom, what do I have? I have my jQuery file for my JavaScript. Over here, I have my proper file, which is for a JavaScript framework. So they just give you all the framework tools if you want to use it. We have the actual Bootstrap JS file, and then we have the main file. The main file consists of the file that we use to build our application. So we will type our code over here if we have any JavaScript code to type. Now remember that Bootstrap is a HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework for front-end development. So it means that whenever I open this application from here, basically I have a front end already completed for me. And then you can see with the font awesomes, they have put a link for Facebook and Twitter here. I have this. Basically, I have most of the things in which I want. Now, over here, this message that is here, login #4, I don't want it. I don't want it there. Famous. What company do you like? Is Famous there?
Yes, please. I'm driving and let me park.
Oh, okay.
The question again.
What company do you like? Since Famous is driving, Daniel, what company do you like?
Sir, I'll go for Nestle.
Nestle. Okay.
Yeah, Nestle.
You like Nestle. That's fine. So online, I'm going to look for Google. And here I'll type here Nestle. So here we have the logo for Nestle, right? So I'll go images. Why, Daniel, you work for Nestle?
No, sir.
Okay. So I have a logo for them over here, in which I'm going to right click, click on Save As. And then I'm going to save this image inside the folder I created. That was MIS2. And I'll put it in the images file over here. So save. Good. Now, at the top here, where I have the login 404, it means I have to change that to our company, which is what? Nestle. Nestle. So I'll copy this. I'll come here. I'll paste it. And I will save. And then on my desktop, sorry, on my interface, I should have this, Nestle. But where it is, I don't like it. So I don't want it there. So over here, I can see that they have created a section for me to have my headings over there, but I don't need it. So the Nestle, instead of it being here, I'll just bring it here where the sign up is, so that there will be space here. And then where the Nestle is, I will just, the top heading, I'll just delete it because I don't really need it. So when I come back to my design, I should have this. It pops up a bit, it looks nice. We have Nestle sign in, right? That's okay. But the Nestle sign in, I don't want the Nestle and the sign in to be on the same line. So it means I'll use the break. So BR, to just break them up into two so that I'll have something like this. So Nestle signing. Okay, now we are talking. Now, Nestle have brown as their color, so it helps us over here. But but over here, this man over here doesn't really help us that much. So I would go to my Photoshop. Inside my Photoshop, I will go and look for the image that was there. That is this image. And then I would open this image in Photoshop. So I would go here, go to open. Inside here, I'll just drop this in here, click here, open, and then in here, it would open up for me that image over here. Wonderful. Now, the image has been opened up for me, but I don't want this image to be there. All I wanted was the size of the image. Note that the size is very important because if I was just to go and then replace it with this image in which we have taken from online, this is how it would look like. Doesn't even match. So now what I would do is I would stretch this over my canvas, the canvas being the new page in which I have. Sorry, I made it go back. But let me use the selection tool, move it a bit so that it falls in line, bring it down a bit so that the life is good, everything will come on the screen. Okay, this is a bit better. So Nestle life is good. Now, I'm going to save this on my computer. And where am I saving this as? I'm saving it as a JPEG. But I wanted to go and replace this image. So I'll click on it and click save. It will ask me, do I want to replace it? Yes, I do. The other image can go away. So that goes away. So now I have replaced the image with mine. If I go and then refresh this page, so I hit refresh. I can see that this thing pops up over here. But look at the down bottom here, it's a bit black. I didn't do a good job. Well, yeah, is there a black line there? Oh yeah, there is. So over here, I will bring it back here. I'll pull it down a bit so that it covers the black portion there. And then everything is covered now. I would click on File again, Save again. I'll click on this computer again. I will go and choose the side here. I will choose JPEG, and I'll click here and then click on Save. I want to replace it again. Okay. Now, of course, I must force reload, so F5. And then this is how it looks like. Now we get a point. The good, this thing doesn't come, but we get a point. So now this is what I have. The white background and the white thing is too whitish for me. So I'm going to right click and click on inspect. I can see that the background over here, color is here. And if I change the background color, these are the things in which I am getting. You can see I can change them. And as I'm changing the background color over here, these are the things in which I am getting. So I can look for a nice color for my background. Okay, I can look for a nice color that fits the background in which I have. Well, of course, I can go for, this is too yellowish, but does this look okay? I think this is fine. So I can copy the color. And as we can see, the background color is controlled by the body CSS, and it is found here on line 8135. So it means when I come to my code on the side here, I go to CSS, and then I look for that line, 8 something. I can see I have it here, the body. I can just replace that. In doing so, it means that going forward, whenever I come to my design, this is what I have going forward. Okay. Now I want the person to log in. Over here, I'll type the username and then I'll type the password. But the person has to also sign up. So how do I do this? Okay, so I would come to the code side again. In the code side, I would right click on this. I would click on this. And in here, I will type in register.html. In the index.php, I'll copy everything and paste it in the register.html. Now, in the index.php, I'll go and look for where they said, do you want to sign up? Click here. And instead of me saying hashtag sign up, I would rather say register.html. And then in here, I'll remove this because if you're coming to sign up, you don't need that. Here, I would say, instead of me saying sign up, I would say sign in, save. Over here, I would say index.html. And over here, instead of me saying sign in, I'll say sign up. And then I'll come to my page again. I'll refresh my page again. And when I click sign up here, it's supposed to redirect me to where I want to go to, but it is not doing that. So let's see why. When I come here, I click here. Is there something that is not done right here? Let's say, okay. So what is not done right? Is there a member? Oh, over here, we said it should toggle. We don't want it to toggle. So we have to remove the toggle button over there. So it acts like a normal tab. All right, so when we come back here, when I refresh my page, I click here, it takes me to this page, which says what? Sign up. So if I'm signing up, then here I don't just need first name and this, I need other things here. So again, I'll come back to the register page. I would remove this piece of code here because if I'm coming to register, I don't need remember me. So over here, all the codes that have to do with remember me are going away. So here, I'm taking all of this off. Bam. So here, I will refresh again. Remember me is gone. Not a member signing. No, it's supposed to say, I am a member. I am a member. So what? Sign in. So over here, when I refresh this again, I am a member, sign in. That makes more sense. That's good. Over here, the person wants to sign into an account. So we need the person's full name, username, and then phone number. So I will copy these two codes at the top here. I would repeat it. Over here, I'll just change this to full name. Over here, I'll change this to phone. Over here, I'll change the type of this to phone. And over here, I'll change the type of this to text. So it means text, that's fine. Text is fine. But the placeholder here has to be full name. And then the placeholder for this has to be phone. Of course, this one here, we'll change it to phone. And the one at the top here, we'll change it to full name. Good. Now, when I come to my page and I refresh, again, I have full name, phone number, username, password, sign in. Nope, nope, nope. Over here, it doesn't have to be sign in. We need to change the word there so it is what? Sign up. Sign up. So when I click here, it's supposed to bring me here to sign in. Click here, it's supposed to bring me here to what? Sign up. I want the Nestle to pop. So I want the Nestle to pop itself out. So over here, when I go to the top here, I'm going to add an I tag here. And I'm going to wrap the I tag around the Nestle. I'm going to do an in-style CSS and call it color and make the color the same color we used as the background. So over here, that would be the color of choice here. And also, I'm going to make it bold by adding B here. So wrapping it around B2 so that it's bolder. Great. So when I come here and I refresh here again, I want to see the Nestle colored and bolder. That's good. Now I'll copy this. I'll come to the index page and then I'll replace the Nestle over there too so that the same effect takes place. So on my page now, again, when I refresh, I click here, it brings me here, Nestle. I click here, it takes me here, Nestle. Now, in here, I can design the application moving forward now. What do I mean? I need to put on my server. So I'm going to start my server. over here, I'm going to type localhost / PHP
Yes, sir.
admin. Yep.
It looks like the logo, some of the writings are off. So how will you adjust it for it to come?
I thought I said that. I said that I will just show you the idea, but you design it in Photoshop. So in Photoshop, if I wanted all the logos to appear, I must design it myself. So in here, I could go for the paint tool, select the color for the paint tool to be this, click in here, okay, click in here, so that it is white. Then use a selection tool whilst clicking on the image in the front to bring it to the top. I'm coming. Over here, I'll have this. Click here. I would make that thing white so that if I am to reduce the size of the, if I am to reduce the size of the image, I can reduce it to this. And then I can just click here, go to save, click here. And then in here, that, click on this thing. Yes, replace, okay. And then in here, when I do that, I can get this. So you are the designer. It is your job to go and design. I will not design for you.
Okay, sir.
Your job is to go and design it to the best of your ability. So now, you see, at this stage, we have the design. So here, when I come to my database, I can click on the tree to refresh it for me. I can click on database. In here, the name of my database is going to be Nest. In here, I have...
We are only seeing the page here.
Yeah, what?
We are only seeing the page. We are not seeing the database.
You're only seeing the page. What page?
No, it has come.
That's come. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So over here, the name of my table is going to be user. And in there, I'm going to have 6 columns. So my first column is going to be ID, which is going to be an auto increment. My next column is going to be full name, which is going to be, let's do text for now. No, it doesn't really matter to me that much. Over here, I have phone number, which is going to be VACA, and let's do it 15, just in case someone wants to do it plus 230. And then over here, we have the, let's do it text for now. We have the password. Let's do it text for now. And then we have date, reg, for date of registration. And let's do that a date and time stamp. Beautiful. Hello, can you hear me? So where we ended at was, or where the thinker was here, I was about to click on the save button. So I have saved a database called user. Now I must bring the data from our form into user. Note that we've done this already in the other classes, but now we have an interface that looks nice to work with. So of course, the first thing I would do is I would look for where my form tag is. And if my form tag is not there, then I must create a form tag. Yes, I have a form tag over here. So in the form tag, I'm going to say all the information in the form tag should leave here and go to a place in which I'm calling process.php. And in here too, the method of sending should be post. So now my data is going to be posted and it is going to go to process.php. And then also over here, I have my button, which is already set to submit. So it means whenever I click on this, everything here is going to be sent to process.php. Okay, now in here, I can see that in my inputs, I don't have name values. So when it is posted, it will be a problem for me. So here I have to add a name to be equal to username. Over here, the name property is going to be password. Over here, and this is for the login page. On the registration page, also, I want to send it to here, reg process.php. And the method of sending is also going to be post. So in here, I'm going to add the name properties to these, where name is equal to full name. In here, the name property is equal to phone number. In here, the name property is equal to username. In here, the name property is equal to password. Great. Great. Now, I'm going to close all of these things here. And over here, I'm just going to right click and rename it as a PHP file now. And I'm going to rename this too as a PHP file. So I'll just close this. And I'll rename this as a PHP file. Now, as I said, in here, I created two files. One was, oh, sorry, not in here, I mean here. One of those files was process.php. Another of those files was reg process.php. In here, I'm going to create a folder that I'm going to call SRC. In the folder SRC, I'll create a file called include.php. Now, in the include.php, I'll right click and create the PHP tag. In here, I'm going to do the connection to my database. So I need to know the user of my I need to know the host of my database, which is going to be local host. I need to know the password of my, I need to know the username of my host or the person who is going to use my database, and that is going to be root. I need to know the password of the host, which is going to be nothing. And then I need to know the database in which I want to go and get access to. And the database I want to go get access to is what? Nestle. So now I can say connection to the database is equal to my SQL I underscore connect into brackets. In here, I would put in the host of my database, the username of the host, the password to the host, and then the database name itself. So over here, I've created the access to my database. Now, inside the process.php, I am going to call upon the access to the database so that I don't have to create the access to the database in every single page. But in here, I can just tell the computer to include the information in src/include.php. So it means that on this page going forward, everything inside the include here would be included on this page. So it means immediately on this page, I have access to the database and I have access to the database information. Everything I need to access the database is here because I've included it from the other page. What do I want to do here now? I want to go and get the full name that the person has entered. I want to go and get the phone number the person has entered. I want to go and get the username the person has entered. And I want to go and get the password the person has entered. Now, all of these things in which I'm going to get are going to come in the form of a post. So over here, I need to create the form that the computer is going to take with a post. What form does it take? It takes the $_post in capital letters, 2 square brackets, and then a semicolon within. And in here, I'll put in the name property of that input tag. What do I mean? When I go to the register page, the name property of the input tag for full name is full name. So it means that over here, I'll have to come and type in what? Full name. Here, I'll type in phone. Over here, I'll type in username. And over here, I'll type in password. Because when I go to the register page again, I can see that here the name property is phone, the name property is username, and the name property is password. So over here, I have gathered the information from my form. I am working at the wrong place, so I'll just cut it and then come and put it in the reg process. Because over here is meant for the login, and this is meant for processing the registration page. Next thing I have to do now is prepare my SQL statement. So this SQL statement's job would be to go and insert data into my database. So I would go to my database, I'll click on SQL. In here, I can see insert, and I can see it written for me. So I'll just copy it, and I'll bring it here to my code, and I'll paste it here. So over here, I have the code pre-written for me. Now, what do I do with this information? It wants me to insert the value. So it has created a space for me to insert a value. So I'll do that. This index page is going to be preset, so I don't add that. But the rest are not. So I'll just put them in naturally, comma, phone number, comma, in double quotes, double single quotes, username, comma, in double single quotes, password. Now, the password, I want to put the okay, let me leave it like that. So password. And then finally, I'll just bring a comma and type now and then put it into this so that it knows that it should go to the server and pick the date that is in the server at that point in time. So it will do that for me. I have prepared my SQL statement. Now I must run my SQL statement in my server. So result is equal to my SQL I underscore query. And in here, I'll put in the connection to my database, that is connect, comma, and then the SQL statement in which I've prepared. Now, if the result of what I have prepared comes back as true, then it means I have registered an individual. So over here, I want my header location to transfer me from this page and send me to the index page. And when I get to the index page, I want it to take a message with it, and the message should be successful registration. Now, if this does not come back as a success, then I also want you to transfer this person to the, oh, not the index page, but the registration page. The registration page. But here we'll say registration not successful. Over here, let's time it as registration success. So now we test. So I come here. I refresh this page. It doesn't exist anymore because we removed the .php from there. Over here, we are here. Oh, why is it giving me this? Let's see if I can figure out what is wrong. Oh, yes. I'm trying to open the page not using the server. So I'll go localhost /msc2. And then now when I open, because I'm using the server, it would open the files for me. So I'm utilizing the server. Good. Now here, I'll come and click here. Over here, it is still redirecting to the HTML page. So we want to redirect it to the PHP page. So let me just quickly make that change. So over here, instead of it redirecting to this, 1 second, I'm coming. Please give me 1 second, I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that. So as I was saying, here we have to change them to the PHP because we changed it into PHP. And then over here in index 2, we have to remove it from that to PHP. So back to my testing environment. Now over here, I'm going to call the person's full name as Daniel, since Daniel was the one who chose the Nestle. And Daniel doesn't have his surname saved, so we'll call him Daniel Diego. And then over here, the phone number, we can pick any phone number we want. The username, we're going to call it Daniel. And then the password is going to be Diego. And then I'll say sign up. Now over here, we can see that it tells us that registration is successful, but that message doesn't appear here. We'll fix that. We'll make sure the message appears here. But it tells us that registration is successful over here. The message is coming. The error message is coming over here. That means if we come to our browsing environment, we can browse and see that we have Daniel Diego and everything saved. The time is also saved over there, very key for us. So we know the time in which the person came into our system. So everything here is saved. We have the information saved. Now, again, because Bootstrap is a framework for development, I can just go to Bootstrap, and in the Bootstrap, I can go and look for alerts. I know my internet is a bit poor today, forgive me. And then Bootstrap alerts. And over here, I have a nice alert here by Bootstrap for success. So, let me put it, yeah, okay, that's fine. Good, that's fine. So over here in the process, in the registration page, beneath the Nestle, beneath here, I'll put it here, success. Are we okay? But I don't want a success message, I want a warning. I want a warning instead. If I do it success, it will be green, but I don't want it green, I want it to be red. So this is what I mean. Over here, when I refresh this, the warning is amber rather. So I have to change it from warning to danger. So now it is red. If I don't want to give a danger message and I want to give a success message, then it is going to be what? Green. Are we okay? So a success message here shows that, you have done something good. So registration is successful. So over here, I'm going to say if into brackets is set. So I'm directly adding a PHP script in here, saying if into brackets is set. $_get. And in here, I'll put in the error. So the moment the error has something in it, I want you to display the messaging over there for me. And the message should be a danger message, so it should be red. And it should tell you status. And then in here, I want you to post whatever that is in the error message. So over here, I want whatever that is inside the error message you got from the get. So error. That. So again, if I am to refresh my page now, it should show status registration was successful. So now we know that the registration was successful. The person sees and says, registration is successful. Then the person knows what to do. Are we okay? Now, over here, just so that I can give the person more message, I'll just bring a dot here and I'll say, go to login page. Are we okay? So Now let me register someone again and let's see. So here I'm going to register someone again. I'm going to register Mark. I'm going to put in this. I'm going to say his username is going to be admin. His password is going to be 123456. I'm going to click here, and then it says registration successful. Go to what? The login page. So the person knows what to do. So when I come here, I'm supposed to see what here? Mark admin 123456. The time in which I did the registration is also there for very, very key. So it means that once you have been able to register, when you are done, you click on sign in here and come here to type in the username we did, which is admin. And then you also want to type in the password over here to what? To sign in. But what's the problem over here? We have no code backing this thing up. When we click it, it takes us to the process page, but we don't have any code in the process page to check if the person should sign in or not. So now I'm going to sign the person in. So over here, I'll come back here. I'll go to the process page. In here, I need to add the code for the processing of information in my DB. I need to add that, which is going to be include on this page the information you see in src/include.php. So now I've included that information on this page. Next thing which I have to do, I have to tell the computer to go for the information that is there. So just for time's sake, I'll copy everything here. I'll bring it here. On that page, we only need to go for these two things here. And then here, instead of me writing this SQL statement here, my SQL statement is going to change. It's going to change from this to a selection statement where the username of the individual is equal to something, and then the password of the individual is also equal to something. Now I'll bring it here again, and I'll paste it here. So I should select everything from where the username is what the person has typed, and then the password is also what the person has typed. Now, if this is true, then we can send you to our dashboard. We can log you in, but we don't have a dashboard. So over here, I'll just click here, call this dashboard.php, and in here, I'll type here, you have logged in. So we are going to send you to dashboard.php. But if it is wrong, then we will send you back to the index page and tell you that your login not successful, full stop, incorrect username or password. And then we leave it like that for you. So now let's see if this will work. Let's see if we can log somebody in. So over here, when I click back on my page, I go back and I type in here admin. I type 123456. I click login. It takes me there, but it tells me this page doesn't exist. So let's see why it is telling me that. So over here, do I have dashboard here? Yes, I do, but I didn't spell it well. So I have to rename this into a B. So it's dashboard. Then the spelling is now correct. So now when I come here and I refresh, I have been logged into dashboard. Let me go back. Over here, if I type, let's say John here, and I type 123456, it is incorrect. So when I click, it is still logging me in. Let's see. Click. Oh, okay. So now we have a problem. Let's go back to our code then. What problems do we have? We are telling the computer to run this query. And if it is able to run this query successfully, then it should come and do these things here. But the problem is that if it is able to run it successfully, there is a message that should come. So here we are selecting some stuff. So we have to check if the computer was able to select anything. So now it means that here we need to ask the computer if it went and got any number of rows. So num rows is equal to MySQL I underscore num rows. And that takes in the value of result. So if the number of rows that you got is greater than 0, then it means we found something. If it is not, then we should give an error message. Before I go there, there's something I have to do, and I have to give this same piece of code from here, and I have to copy and paste it over here at the top here so that we can see our error message. So with this, I'm sure our code will work now. So over here, I'm in the login page. In here, I type in John, and I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I click here, tells me it is incorrect and I should go and work on it. I come back here, I type in the correct thing, which is admin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I log in, tells me everything is good and I have logged in. As you can see, this is the beginnings of an application. We have the login set. Now we have to make sure that the person is authenticated. If it is authenticated, then he can log in. If it's not, then he can't log in. We must check sessions so that we will know that this person has been logged in for more than an hour. He was idle, he wasn't there. We should check those things. But now we have an interface. And this interface just came from me picking one, designing it like how I like, adding some things and then growing from there. Of course, this class was an introductory course into what we'll be doing going forward, whereby we'll have interfaces for the things we do, and then we'll be working with various interfaces and so on and so forth. But this should give you an idea of what we'll be doing going forward. This should give you an idea of how our things will look like, how easy it was for me to build an interface, build a login, build all of the things. Everything is working. It is logging in, it is checking, it is giving you error messages. The error messages look good. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Are you sure? Are you people sure there are no questions? Because even me standing here, I have 5 questions I want to ask.
So no question.
Are you people sure? All right, if there are no questions, I would send you the code as usual to your groups. When you get them, you have to practice them. Download the templates from online. See if you can build it yourself and get everything like how mine looks like. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. But sir, those times they used to say template is the easy way out, that you should build from scratch and all of that. That's what some people used to say.
Those people are idiots. Because you can't build this from scratch. I can't build everything in which you see here from scratch. But the question is, when you see this, how it used to be and how it is now, does it look the same?
No, sir.
No, sir.
The problem is
But you see, one thing, more times auditors have the issue auditors have is after maybe getting the template, maybe the developer will have to go through the codes and then see if all the codes meet maybe the top 10 best practices. But sometimes they don't do that. So you see, when you try to use other people's username and password to log in, it was able to go through. That is a security breach. Or maybe there was something wrong.
Pause. When you use when I use another person's username to log in, it worked because my code was wrong.
That one was from the server side. It wasn't from the front end.
It wasn't from the front end. So what you are saying is wrong.
Oh, okay.
The problem is that students being students, students being students, when they get templates, they don't even change anything to make it look like this. They just copy it how it is and paste it because the teacher does not have anything good doing with his life. So he should watch the copy work they have done. And because whatever you do in life, you can't hide it. They will take that same excuse to work. And then when they're at work, their boss has given them a job. Instead of them to take whatever design they have and redesign it to suit whatever job they are doing and remove all misconceptions about that. They won't do that. They will just take it as it is and do it because Charlie, it is fine. You can see how
sometimes I think it's more about creativity, because if you don't have a good creative eye, you can't come up with certain designs.
Who has a creative
person asking you to do it.
But you're talking about the designers. You know, if you are not a designer, you have gone through.
Am I a designer?
You know you are borrow, so.
Hey, my guy, relax. I am not a designer. The thing I hate most.
See how easily you designed the Nestle when it wasn't fitting in. You did the editing in Photoshop and all that.
Because